Welcome second years, here we are. It's your first camera proficiency. It's the Arri Alexa. We love this camera so much. I'm so excited that you made it to second year and you get to try out this awesome camera. We're gonna go over the basic features of it and we're gonna go step by step through the proficiency so that you can see how easy it is and then you can prepare for your test. Remember, always reach out to the Cage people if you have any questions or if you want any sort of one-on-one tutorial. They're there to help you, as we all are, okay? This is an amazing camera. It is a super 35mm sensor, gorgeous lenses we have with this. Again, this is the camera that changed Deacon's from film to digital, okay? You wanna shoot your film on an Alexa, you wanna direct your film on an Alexa, we can do it here. First things first, this is our tripod. One thing will be different, and you'll notice the second I open it. There's no head. There's no head. Why is that? Well, we're using much more expensive equipment. The tripod head alone on this unit is more expensive than the entire camera package of your first semester and second semester cameras put together. So you better believe we're gonna put that in a separate kit, okay? But let's get this part set up first. So we are still using a ground spreader. This is a Miller tripod system. But the big difference here is that it's Mitchell. We talked about this in class in second semester, and we're gonna talk about it a lot in third semester. There are two different ways of attaching the camera to the head, and that is gonna be either through a Mitchell, which is like a flat system, or it's gonna be a ball mount, or bowl. Some people say one or the other. 75mm, 100mm, 150mm. This is Mitchell. I love Mitchell. I far prefer the Mitchell, but there is gonna be one thing you're going to have to do, and that's going to be a little against your instinct at first, but you'll get used to it. You can't level the head just by simply loosening on the bottom and moving it around. You have to actually adjust the legs so that it's level before you put the camera on. So let's put the head on these legs and move on to the next step. For this particular camera setup, we're gonna be using the Miller Cineline 70, okay? An absolutely amazing head. Love it, love it, love it. So we're gonna loosen the bottom and we'll get this attached. How does this fit? This is flat, that's flat. I don't get it, is what you're saying. Don't worry, we've actually marked off exactly where you're going to line up the head with one of these three key locks right here, okay? Again, you want one leg in the front, two in the back open so that you can stand in between. And so let's get it lined up. That easy. Now, I'm going to lock the bottom and then we will attach the camera. The pan lock is on the front here, okay? And it just glides, as you can see. The tilt is on the side. On the back is your drags as well as your counterbalance. The camera has kind of already been pre-built in the case. That's lucky. So all we gotta do is slide it into place and we're good to go. There is a lock here. It says release and there's a little red tab. You're gonna pull the tab and release the lock. Now the head is ready to receive the camera. Here we are, the Arri Alexa. To attach this, and you can see the plate is already pre-attached to the bottom, you're gonna go diagonal. You're gonna go slightly on one side, and then when you press down on the other, you'll hear a click. Now, the lock has engaged. That means the camera can slide back and forth, but it cannot remove itself from the head. This is good for balancing, of course, for your counterbalance. Once you're happy, you're gonna press that lock in and now it's secure, okay? And this is it. This is the body of the camera, okay? Now we're gonna add the lens next and then a few of the accessories. But this is the point, and I wanna remind you all about something on this test. this is a two-person test. There are several moments when you are building a camera of this size and this value and this complexity that you're going to need a second set of hands, if not a third set. One of those is going to be the attaching of the lens, okay? So I'm going to find a camera assistant. Hey, where'd you come from? It's a camera assistant. Ben Francis, recent graduate from our program, and he's going to help us out here. He was awesome with the cameras. We have here a Sigma 18-35 zoom. This camera comes with a 2 Sigma zoom lens kit, but if you want, we also have a 6 set of primes from Red, and you can also use those as well. Now, the big difference here is that this lens isn't going to click. Every lens you've had thus far has clicked. You know the click, you love the click, say goodbye to the click. There are no clicks. Click. So, with this one, you're going to basically line it up with a little pin over on the side here, and then once you've sort of snugged in, your camera assistant is going to turn this dial here, and that's going to lock the lens into place. A lot of communication is needed here. Watch how we do it, okay? Ben, are you ready to go? Ready to go. Love it. So I'm going to loosen my cap, and you're going to prep so it's all ready to go. And whoa, one second. And I can see where the pin is, okay? It's right there. And when I take off my lens, I can actually see the exact same receiver. The other thing to keep in mind if you're not sure about lenses and what side to turn it on, okay? Remember, you always want to see the lengths, okay? You always want to see the lengths easy, like, you know what I mean? Like it's perpendicular with what you're looking at. And if the company has chosen to put their name on the lens, it'll be on the top. It's advertising space, right? So now we're gonna do this thing. On 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm good. Would you lock the door for me, please? Okay, so there's no clicking. Nothing has happened, but it's on, okay? And it's sturdy, okay? Trust me, it's all good. I'll grab that. Remember, these go back in the lens case. They don't go in your pocket. They don't go anywhere else, back in the lens case. Now we're gonna move on to the next part of this test. Thank you so much, Ben. The rails, the rods, whatever you want to call them. Typically, our students like to put these on first. It gives them a little bit of a sense of security because if the lens does fall, well, it'll get caught on the rods. Your call. Do it first, do it after. The locks on the side of the rails are right here. Sometimes you won't be able to put it in, like it's blocked for some reason. Well, just unlock it. If it doesn't turn anymore, if there's some reason why you can't do it, and this one does have a little cover here for the DMX port, you can always pull the screw out and then reset, okay? So that's a nice little easy way to sort of fix the problem. Okay, these are now tight. We're one step closer. The next thing on your production kit is going to be the follow focus, okay? This one, it's from Arri, thank heavens, so we're all good there. And the neat thing is we have these little plastic rings and you use this to mark your focus spots, okay? And that's gonna be really, really helpful for you. To attach it, and again, it goes on either side. If your camera assistant is right-handed, left-handed, it's all good, whatever you want, no problem. So slide it into place, secure it right here. Now it's locked, it's not gonna go anywhere. This part is gonna raise up, and you want these teeth, these grooves here, to match what's on the lens, okay? And when you've done that, now you'll be able to adjust your focus without actually touching the lens. Now it's time to add our matte box. The matte box is gonna do a couple of things for you. It's gonna help protect the lens from the sun, getting those flares and things like that, unless you're J.J. Abrams and you want that, that's cool too. This one does come with an adapter. because it doesn't quite fit the size of this particular lens. This was purchased for an old lens set that we used to have, but it's all good. You can just put it on with the adapter, and it's a little ring, and it's already right here. It just sits inside, you tighten it, and then you're good to go. So it's attached now. We're going to tighten it on the side here, and there's a little lever over here. You just tighten that, and now it's not going anywhere. When you want to remove your matte box, you will start by loosening this lever first. The other thing this matte box can do is it can hold 2 filters. We use 4x4 filters with this matte box, and we have some in the kit. We have the NDs, ND3, ND6, ND9. There's also a haze in there, and you have an optional polarizer that you can add to your package as well. We're looking like it's getting pretty professional. We got a nice looking camera here, but we're not even close to being done. We've got some more accessories, okay? What's next? We have our brand new small HD 7-inch touchscreen monitors. Oh my God. So we attach these with a magic arm, and this can attach anywhere on the top handle of your camera. We've got adapters so that these can be received any way you need, okay? Some people prefer to attach the magic arm and then the monitor. Some people prefer to put the magic arm and the monitor together first and then attach it. Whichever way you prefer, fine, but let's make sure it's safe, okay? Our monitor is now attached, okay? It's got a magic arm, which means you can move it any which way you want, bend it, curve it, whatever. And then the neat thing is you just lock it, and it holds it right in place, okay? Now, obviously, this isn't, the strongest arm in the world, so we don't want to like move the camera with all this stuff attached excessively, right? So remember, take things apart, put them away, reset your cameras, move them, but we want to use feather touch. Everything here is awesome. Everything here is fairly new, and we want to make sure that we treat everything appropriately. So remember, feather touch every step of the way. Your small HD kit is going to come with 4 Sony batteries, okay? And a double charger. So you should be able to power all day long with this, okay? The small HD uses 2 batteries, and it's on the back here. Just slide them into place. Same as your second semester camera, so you know all about this. And just like with your small HD on your second semester camera, you can either go HDMI or SDI. We're gonna go SDI. We don't have any of the adapters or anything for the HDMI, so we're just gonna go SDI cable for this one, okay? If I turn the camera around, you'll see it's out right here, monitor out right here, okay? Simply attach, twist it, locks into place. Now the camera is going monitor out into the monitor. And that one is right here. So our monitor is attached to the camera. It's got batteries, it's good to go. We're nearly done. Just a few small things left. Number 1, we gotta power this camera too. And when you know it, every kit comes with 2 Titan batteries to start with, Anton Bauer Gold mount, but we also have tons more, so you just keep ordering as you see fit. Our Amira models, keep in mind, they come with 4 batteries in the kit because they have newer cases. They came with them with inserts assigned. So we'll be doing the same with this one when we get the new kit or the new case for this one. Attaches on the back. Now we've got power going to the camera. I think at this point, the last thing we need to do is to connect our eyepiece to the camera. That's right. You see, you may get the impression that this will just power automatically when we turn on the camera. That's how it was in first year. This one, not so much. This is actually a separate piece altogether. And you can adjust it with these levers. You can pull back and forth, you can tilt, you can do a lot with this. You can also navigate the menu with this if you want to as well. I'm gonna get the cable and attach this to the camera. In your production kit, you're gonna find this cable. There is a little red dot, and you can actually line that up with your electronic viewfinder. It's now connected. The last piece to this puzzle, the card, okay? It's an SS card, S by S card, and it is a 64 gig. We get 3 of them with the kit, and it slides in right here. Open that up, and then it slides right in. So at that point, now you can make your last final changes. Make sure the monitor is the way you like it. Make sure your viewfinder is the way you like it. Again, you have all these different locks. You can turn things and you can adjust things, whatever you want, okay? I'm kind of happy with the way it is right now. And so I guess we'll turn on the camera. So on here, you're gonna see only a handful of buttons. What's the deal? How do we use this camera? I thought it was really complex. Well, let's go with the power first, okay? Power button's right there. You're gonna hold it for a second. Now the camera's booting up, okay? You can see right here. We're about ready to take the test now. Final checks. We know we're level because we pre-leveled the legs before we attached the camera, but the balance. If I was to unlock the tilt, what would happen to this camera? It wants to tilt forward. So how do we adjust our balance? If we remember at the beginning, pull the red lever, disengages the lock, and now we can adjust it. Still a little heavy on the front. We'll keep pushing it back. Boom. Nice and flat, nice and level. Okay? Lock it up. A dash of counterbalance, and now we're good to go. Alrighty, cool, right? Our monitor's up, our camera's ready to go. Now let's go through the proficiency test, okay? Now right here, you're gonna see 6 main menu options. Frames per second, audio, your shutter, your exposure index, your color, and your white balance. Other than that, you're gonna have a main menu button, your info button, your time code, and then you've got a user button for the users that you can sort of assign. You've got a play, you've got a screen grab, and of course you can lock everything in if you wish with the lock button. Question number 3 is going to be the recording codec. You're gonna get that in the menu. It's under recording. How do I navigate this menu? That's what this little black toggle is for right here, okay? So you turn the dial, and then it's going to move up and down the menu, and then you press it in to engage the selection. So we're gonna go to recording, and we're gonna go to internal, and we can see we're at ProRes 422 HQ at 1080. So we know we're all good. Press it to engage, but you can see you've got ProRes 422 and ProRes 4444. But again, we're gonna go 422 HQ. Hit the back button, hit it again, and now let's move on to the next question. The next question is, how do we adjust our frame lines for our aspect ratio? It's gonna be under monitoring. So press it, and then you can see frame lines. And from here, you can now select what you want. We have the 133, we have 166, 175, 185, the Arri 239 flat, scope 1.3, and scope 2 as well. Exposure index for the native ISO. The native ISO is 800. You're gonna press this button. Again, the toggle switch will allow you to change between them, and if you see in the monitor up here, you can actually see the image getting brighter or darker as I adjust my ASA or ISO. The next one is going to be your frame rate. How do you change your frame rate, and how do you get this camera into high speed mode? So obviously with frame rate, you're going to go to your frames per second. And here you can go all the way from 0.75 frames per second, and you can take it all the way up to 60. So this camera will shoot up to 60 frames a second on regular speeds, but there's a high speed mode. To engage the high speed mode, you're going to hit high speed, and then it's going to ask you to press these 2 buttons simultaneously and hold, and that's what we're going to do. It is now loading the high speed mode. It's going to take about 15 to 20 seconds to do this, okay? Don't worry, when we're doing our proficiency test, I'm not going to make you load it and then unload it. Just show me that you can do it and we'll be good to go. We are now on high speed mode. Now we start at 60 and we can go all the way to 120 frames a second, okay? Kind of neat. So this is how you're gonna do your high speed mode. Again, to exit high speed mode, first you're going to go to exit high speed and it's gonna do the same thing. Press it, wait 20 seconds, you're good to go. At this point, now there's a little Q&A in the Proficiency. I'm gonna ask you to tell me the difference between log C and Rec 709. It's a very similar question to the Arri Alexa test as well. What's the difference? Log C, of course, is gonna give you a very flat image, but it stores all the information so that when you're in post, you can do a whole lot with your color corrections and really bring out the picture that you've captured. Rec 709 is more of a what you see is what you get. The colors are sort of baked in and it gives you a very nice professional image. You can also change the camera and monitor settings so that you can be shooting in log C, but the monitor will give you a Rec 709 image. I'm gonna ask you, why would you ever do that? Well, sometimes directors are going to want to take a look at a monitor with a nice clean image. They don't really need to see the log C so they can understand the fine details of what's going to be captured. They just want to focus on the image with regards to performance and blocking and things like that. Maybe if you've got a producer on set, you don't want to show them a log C image, you want to show them a nice bright image, so you're going to want to give them a Rec 709. So how do we do that? We're going to go to color. And right here you can see the internal and the recording are both log C. When we press on that, you now have all these different options. And I'm gonna go to the gamma. When we're in the gamma, you can see internal log C, recording out log C, monitor out is log C, but the electronic viewfinder is Rec 709, meaning that you're getting this sort of flat image on everything you see except for this viewfinder, okay? But I can change this. I'll do it right now by going to the monitor, and I'm gonna go to Rec 709, and if you take a look, you'll see an instant change. Now the image has gotten brighter, the colors are popping, right? It looks like a far better image, right? We're gonna be shooting log C because color correction is a big part of your world in second year at Confederation. But we're gonna leave the monitor at Rec 709 because it's gonna allow our first AC to have a much cleaner, brighter image that they can work with when doing focus pulling. The next thing is going to be to set the exposure to the gray card. What is all this? I'll tell you. Here is your 3 cards. You have a black, a white, and a gray, an 18% gray. Typically what we're gonna do with this is I'm gonna make your partner in the test hold this gray card in front of the camera. And then you're gonna have to set the exposure so that this card is properly exposed. To do that, you're going to adjust your iris until this card appears green. You'll notice as when one of our students is adjusting the f-stop, these colors are just changing and dancing all over the screen. The gray card is set so that when the exposure is accurate on the gray card, it will reveal itself to be green. Now we're going to talk about the gray card and exposure a lot in class because I guess the thing that students sort of lean a little too hard on is that the card is going to do all of the work for them. No, the card is just telling you an exposure reading from a particular spot on your set, just like your light meter. You could walk onto any part of your set, hold up your light meter. If it's giving you 40 foot candles, it doesn't mean you're going to walk to the other side of the set and you're going to get 40, right? It's a reading from a particular spot. Is it going to be helpful for you? It's how you use it, okay? But again, the standard exposure rules and how we calculate our exposure, we're going to use the same methods, germinating from a film, and we're going to go that way. It's tried and true, but we want you to be aware that there's a lot more options with this camera. Another thing we're going to do with this gray card is a white balance. When we do the white balance, you're going to press the WB button for white balance, And now you have all of your predetermined colors here, right? All of your color temperatures are all here for you to pick. Or if it's a custom, you can do an auto white balance. To do that, you have your auto white balance. You will then see on your monitor a very tiny screen, a very tiny square. You're gonna fill that square with the gray card, with your 18% gray card, and that's gonna give you the white balance, okay? You're gonna white balance with the gray card. When you're ready, press it again, hold it, and it'll activate accordingly. But since we don't wanna do that, we're gonna press back and we're gonna escape out of that. But that's how you're gonna do your white balance with this camera, okay? Next, we're gonna go through the HD monitor. The really neat thing about this monitor is it's already set up for all of the specific main options or functions this monitor can do. It's a touchscreen monitor, which means if you're gonna be shooting in January and February, it is Thunder Bay, you're not gonna use this outside. Once it gets to about -20, this thing doesn't work anymore, okay? So keep that in mind. You're not gonna take this outside after -20. But if we slide it across, we're gonna get all sorts of options. We have our exposure, we have focus, we have our scopes, we have our framing, and just slide it across to whatever you want. But we also have a custom page. On the custom page, I have put in the focus assist. And that's gonna be the next part of your test, is show me you can get sharp focus using focus assist on the monitor. To do that, tap it, go to your focus assist, press it so it turns green, and now everything that is red is going to be in sharp focus. Just like with your camera in second semester and in first semester, red's the way we go with our focus, and it's the exact same way. To turn it off, click the little green human head thing, and then it's all good to go. That's your focus assist. That's another question done, easy. So we're nearly done. We've navigated the basic functions of the menu. We've navigated the basic functions of the small HD monitor. We've built the camera. And so at this point, we've got two things left before we tear it all down and pack it up. We're gonna put a filter on this camera, and then we're gonna record a shot. We're gonna use an ND3, okay? Again, that blue little lock here loosens up the front filter holder, slides out. At this point, you can see if you pull this up, this little piece moves up along, and that's what holds the filter into place. Slide the glass in with the help of your camera assistant. Ben, getting a coffee. And then, once it's in and it's secure, slide it back in, and lock it up and you're good to go. Just do that, okay? And then take it back out again. What am I looking for when you're attaching the filter? I'm looking for calm, cool, collected minds, and I want that represented in your hands as well. If you're just a naturally shaky person, it's all good, so am I. But you have to be able to have the confidence to do this. If this terrifies you, so should everything else, okay? Because it's the deal. You wanna be a camera operator, you wanna work with this type of camera, we've gotta do the work. And so we have to have the confidence to do so. Confidence, but not overconfidence, right? Feather touch, respect all the way. So that's it. Once the filter is in, the last thing you're gonna do is record a shot. Your record button is on the other side here. It's big, it's red, you can't miss it. But there's also one on the other side, okay? So you've got a record button on other side of this. You're gonna record a shot. Then you're gonna show me how you erase the shot. How do we format the card? Once you've done that, we're done. So let's pretend we've recorded our shot. You're gonna go back to your menu. You're gonna go to recording again, back to the internal, and then you're gonna see your quick format, and then you have an erase. We like the erase, not the quick format. Let's just do it right, okay? So you're gonna erase the card, and then we're done. At that point, you and your camera assistant will turn everything off, and you'll pack it up the exact same way that it was put out to you, okay? At that point, we're gonna do the marking, and if you've scored a minimum of 80% on this test, you will then be greenlit to use this camera as either an operator or a first AC. You will not be allowed to do either of those jobs with this camera unless you are proficient with the Alexa. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. Again, remember, reach out to myself, reach out to our student employees that work in the equipment cage. They're there to help you. And remember the link in your Blackboard for the Arri menu simulator. It is a godsend. It is one of the main reasons, among millions others, of why we love Arri cameras. Their support is through the roof. And that is going to be a huge help to you when you're practicing for this test. Good luck. I can't wait to see what you come up with when you shoot with this camera. I love it.